time in the podium was a silver medal in Riyadh in 1997. Their past 4 FIBA Asia Championship campaigns have delivered placings of 9th, 7th, 10th and 8th. But they are a proud basketball nation who'll be looking to turn that form around and make a charge at the Rio Olympic Games. This is day 1 of the FIBA Asia Championship in Cheongsa, and game 3 sees Iran and Japan getting ready to do battle. The last time these teams met in official FIBA competition was the 2014 FIBA Asia Cup, when Iran prevailed 66-56 after Japan had led by 3 at halftime. Beside me is analyst Quinito Henson. Quinito, can Japan reverse that result from 2014?
Well, Paul, in basketball, there's a saying, the ball is round. Anything can happen. We saw that in the game between the Philippines and Palestine. Philippines heavily favored, and they were up by 16 points. Palestine, biggest lead was 2 points. That was a big margin.
Yeah, it was an incredible result. Does that sort of performance give heart to Japan? Will they take note of that and grow a little bit taller as they head out onto court?
Well, certainly. That's great motivation for Japan, thinking that a team like the Philippines can go down to a contender like Palestine. But in this particular game, Japan is taking off from a bronze medal finish in the last Asian Games, in a tournament where they upset China 79-72, and they beat Kazakhstan 76-72 for 3rd place. In that same competition, the Asian Games in Incheon, Iran took 2nd place, a silver medal. So you see that Japanese team now being called out.
So, I mean, Iran, a dominant team. What does Japan have to do to try and bridge that gap and bring on an upset today?
Well, Iran is really headed by their top 3. And before we get into that discussion, let's see what Iran has in store for us in terms of the call out for the players. We were talking about Iran being topped by their big 3. And you're talking of Haddadi, a 5-year NBA veteran, Kamrani, who's their point guard, and Nika Barami, who is their star forward. Those 3 players, they have to be stopped. And if Japan is to make any headway in this game, they're hoping to create an upset of sorts. They need to be able to get the ball away from the hands of Haddadi and then put some pressure on Kamrani to make it difficult for them to orchestrate their offense and get the ball in the hands of either Haddadi or Barami.
Now it's time for the national anthems of both countries.
So, please remain standing for the national anthem of Iran. Thank you.
This is day one of the FIBA Asia Championship in Changsha. It's the third game of the day. It sees the defending champions Iran taking on Japan. Japan, it's a huge challenge for them. I'm joined by analyst Juanito Henson. It's a huge challenge, and they have some key players missing too, don't they?
That's right. They're missing Yuta Watanabe, who's gone back to school at George Washington. Kosuke Takeuchi not going to be here. And their top scorer, Kosuke Kanemaru, who's down with an elbow and foot injury. So they're coming in with a lineup that's improvised, but they're coming in with a lot of heart and a lot of conviction to try to be able to bring down mighty Iran.
They're always a dangerous team, especially if the shots start dropping, but the intriguing story for me is 34-year-old Yuta Tabuse, who's making his major championship debut for Japan. What can we expect from him today?
A lot of people are saying that despite being 34 years old, Yuta Tabuse is still the premier point guard in Japan. And it's about time that he's playing in the FIBA Asia Championship. This is his first time to play in this tournament. As we take a look at who the referees are, from Lebanon, from Kazakhstan, and from China. 3 dudes are referees, but yes, so interesting. Japan, you were talking about how they have such a rich basketball history. They did win the FIBA Asian Championships back in 1965 and 1971. They've played in 6 Olympic basketball competitions, but their last coming in 1976. And talking about Japan, yes, they are led by Yuta Tabuse, a former NBA player. He played with the Phoenix Suns. And then there's Hiyajima. Key player, number 15, Yoji Takeuchi, standing 2.06. And he's a player who can dominate inside. And you wonder how he'll be able to match up against a big guy like Hamed Haddadi.
What's the key is, as we'll look at the Iranian lineup in a minute, how do Japan stop Haddadi?
Well, number one is to put pressure on Kamrani, make it difficult for them to be able to bring to the hands of Haddadi. But you take a look at the starting 5 of Japan. We talked about Takeuchi, we talked about Hiyajima, but Furukawa is also a player who can stroke it from the outside. But this is a team that I think will need a hot shooter like Matsui. This is a team that's been looking for someone to take over from the likes of Orimo and Taniguchi, who were legends in Japan as shooters. And take a look at the Iran lineup right here.
The story for me, Marty Kamrani, he's been the heart and soul of this team for so long. At 33 years of age, can he still provide that energy that he always has?
I think the energy and also the leadership. I think that's most important, because you've got a team like Iran, they're looking ahead. They're not just looking at their big 3. While the San Antonio Spurs might have their big 3, Iran also has its version of the big 3. And Haddadi, Kamrani, and Nika Barami, those are the 3 key players of Iran. But they also have guys like Jamshidi. They have players like Mashayeki, and these are guys who are slowly coming up from the grind and being given an opportunity to play for Iran as the next generation of superstars.
The other thing you notice when you look down the Iranian lineup is so many of their players are playing in their 5th FIBA Asia Championship. They know this tournament like the back of their hand. How important is that for a team coming into day one?
Well, experience. I think that's a very, very crucial factor. But as I was saying, while they have their veterans in their big 3, they do have a lot of young blood coming up slowly. And the future looks bright for Iran. The important thing for Iran is to keep focus. We saw what happened in the Asian Games last year when they were upset by South Korea in the final. 79-77, something like that can't happen to Iran. You also remember in 2011, FIBA Asian Championships in Iran was upset by Jordan in the knockout quarterfinals, eliminated them from contention in the Final 4. So Iran sometimes could be susceptible to lapses when they don't have their mental focus in place. Then they tend to be lackadaisical because they have so much talent on this team, and sometimes they rely on that talent to get them ahead.
It will be fascinating to see the difference moving from Coach Matic to Coach Dirk Baumann. 2 very different characters, one flamboyant, the other cool, calm and measured. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on the court.
Interesting question you asked about experience, Paul. And you talk about experience, you talk about Dirk Baumann, and he has coached Germany in several Olympics and World Cups.
It's day one of the FIBA Asia Championship in Changsha. It's tip-off. We've had a violation, a false start from Hamed Haddadi, so it will be Japan first with the ball. And looking out on the court, you can see the height differential between the two teams. Here's Georgie Takeuchi. He's got a big job in front of him against Hamed Haddadi.
Well, Georgie is going to be looking at mobility. And you see him playing outside. I don't think you'll see him playing inside against Haddadi.
Starts outside. He passed up the jump shot, which was surprising, but a nice pass inside. Up fake. Look at Haddadi. The paint is his territory. And he makes Japan pay for going inside. Look at the drive. Can't get it to go. A miss there from Nick Al-Bahrami. Here come Japan in transition. Do you think that's where they're going to want to make hay today?
I think so. I think they'll need to speed up the game. Maybe hope that Haddadi's not going to be able to align himself defensively against Japanese attackers.
There's Tanaka with the first basket of the game. And you imagine if Japan are going to get the win today, those three-point shots have to drop.
Without a doubt. I think space and pace are two things that Japan will be looking to work with against Iran.
Precise ball movement ends in an open jump shot for Haddadi, but it doesn't drop. A good start for Japan so far. Aggressive in transition.
And for Japan, you want to give up the outside shot for Haddadi. You don't want him inside posting up and trying to impose his will because he has such great mobility close to the basket.
Iran's so good at moving the ball. Here we see exactly that. And Sahakian with the three-point basket. What I like about Sahakian is that last season he shot 40% from the three-point line. You know, for a guy who sets screens, rebounds, he can bring that stretch power forward as well.
Well, he's essentially a power forward, Paul, and I remember in 2013 he made it to the mythical 5 of that competition as a power forward.
Zono on the drive. Patient, up fake. Nice move, but it falls short.
Well, too much dribbling on the part of Japan. They need to be able to release quickly because you see Iran's defense quickly coming into play.
It's been quite a contrast so far, the ball movement of the two teams. Iran nearly turning it over there, but also nearly creating a layup to Haddadi. Sahakian again, but not this time.
Bahrami going down, foul against Japan in the rebound play.
That's the thing with Iran, they are aggressive in all aspects of the game, and one of those is crashing the offensive boards. And I'm sure today Coach Bellman has said, you've got a height advantage, you've got to get on the O boards.
It's interesting that they've set up plays here for Sahakian to take the three-point shot, where you normally want him inside, helping out Haddadi with the offensive rebounds.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to set it up so the Japanese defense has to spread, as they have here. Haddadi gets close to the basket. He dishes out. This one's long. Takeuchi's doing a good job on the board so far. Here's Tanaka. Again, Japan looking to be aggressive in transition. And that's exactly what you talked about with Takeuchi. Draw the big fella out, take him to the hole.
Well, with Takeuchi, I think he needs to use his mobility against Haddadi. And attacking from the outside, that gives him a little advantage in moving inside. Plus, he wants to challenge Haddadi's defense.
I like the fact that he hasn't settled for that jump shot. Haddadi has sagged off him a little bit. You can tell he's been drilled before the game. Get to the basket, see if we can draw some fouls early on.
Important that Japan gets those free throws to drop.
Makes the second. It's 3-all after 2.5 minutes.
And take a look at this defense that Japan is employing. They're putting pressure on Kamrani. They know that Kamrani is the guy who sets the table for Iran. They want to chop off some seconds from the shot clock, and then they double team Haddadi.
Both times it's gone to the low post. It's been a double team. Iran pass their way out of it. Pick up an offensive board. Nick out from long range. He can hit that shot.
Oh, he certainly can.
Doesn't hit on this occasion. Oh no, he's been on fire from three-point land recently for Japan. This time a nice up fake. He takes it to the baseline. It's soft touch.
Medium jumper going in for Ono. Like I was saying, for Japan to be successful against a team like Iran, they need to be able to get those shooters on track.
Here's Afar. He's another man who can hit from long range. Inside to Haddadi.
That's money in the bank for Haddadi. Nice job getting position inside, and then the turnaround. You watch it right here. The pass coming in from Afag. No way you can stop a shot like that.
Talk us through the difference. The first two times Haddad got the ball in the post, it was outside the key that allowed the double team to come. That time inside the key, double team couldn't do anything.
That's right. Once he's inside, once he gets a seal position, then it's going to be difficult for Japan to even apply a double team on him because he's a mobile center. He can hit that turnaround shot. Once he's within range of 5 to maybe even 10 feet from the basket, it's almost like a sure 2 points for him.
And when he's making free throws, he becomes very difficult to guard at Asia Championship level.
Clearly a very dominant player.
Excellent defense from Barami. He's down the court quickly. Ball in the hands of Comradi. Looking for the early ball screen. Look at the patience from Comradi. And now again into where they want it. Trademark Iran basketball. But as Lindsay Gay says, operation successful, patient died. Yeah, could not get the basket to drop from 1 feet.
But you also notice that Sahakian now is playing closer to the basket than in the previous 2 plays.
Ijama with the pull-up jump shot is no good. A little bit of miscommunication between Nikau and Sahakian. It'll be Japan ball from the baseline. They trail by 1. Be a promising start. The Japanese would be happy with this.
I'm actually excited to watch Tabuse come into play. Certainly a very exciting performer.
Jamshidi into the lineup for Japan, for Iran. Pressure defense from Afag.
Easily picked off here by Iran.
Stagnant offense from Japan.
They're standing around. You're not going to be able to do it against Iran.
And once again, we see that contrast, the slick movement from Iran. And we talk about how often they've played together, and you see the examples of it there. Nice backdoor cut from Furukawa. He couldn't get free though.
Again, the anticipation coming from Iran. That's 2 steals. Last 2 offensive plays of Japan. And then the finish by Kamrani. What speed. I mean, the man is 33 years old.
Here's Takeuchi at the top. Again, he goes at Haddadi. Strong drive. Finds Ono. Good patience from Ono, and he draws the foul. You know, he was confronted by the great wall of Haddadi, but he had the patience to throw the up fake, and he gets the free throw.
And they're looking for an extra pass. Once you're inside, and take a look at this play here. Kamrani dashing straight to the hole. Easy 2 points for him. Off the steal. Transition basket.
We question, does he still have the spark? Does he still have the speed? Well, I think that question has been answered already.
Very early in this game, yes.
Ryomo Ono at the line, and I talked about his three-point shooting at the William Jones Cup in 2015. He shot 39% from outside. Last year at the FIBA Asia Cup, he shot 44% from outside.
Again, missing the free throw here.
Just the free throw. The interesting fact with him, he has been shooting well. In his past 2 matchups against Iran, he's only shot 2 of 9 from the field in 37 minutes of action. So he's got a couple of demons perhaps he needs to exercise tonight to hit those perimeter jump shots that Japan needs.
And the free throws missing twice.
1 of 4 from the free throw line now for Japan. Here's Comradi to the pull-up. He's hit many of them in his career, but not this time. Rebound from Ono.
Now, we were talking about Tabuse. He's in the game right now. What a matchup. Tabuse versus Kamrani.
What a test. You make your FIBA Asia Championship debut at the age of 34. You don't get a young buck. You get the wisest old head in Asian basketball to see if he's up for the challenge.
And plus, he's got credentials. Only 4 NBA veterans playing in this tournament, and Tabuse is one of them.
Here he is, high ball screen with Takeuchi. Nice feed. And a lovely little bank shot from Furukawa.
Medium range jumper falling here for Japan, but good ball movement that time.
Well, we talked about their player movement earlier. That was the first example we saw of some slick execution. Now along the baseline, nice pass from Jamshidi, but it was a little too hot to handle. Japan have a chance to take the lead here. Navapano into the game for Iran. Afag will take a rest.
Coach Dirk Bowerman telling his boys, settle down, don't rush things.
We saw how important that was in the previous game between Philippines and Palestine. Having that composure when things aren't always going well. Furukawa got open that time. They couldn't find him. The pressure defense from Iran forces another turnover. That's 3 already for Japan. We're only just over 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah. It's great anticipation in the part of Iran. They know where the ball is going, and they're able to step into the passing lane, stop that pass from being received.
Here's that matchup. Tabuse certainly not stepping back from Rani. But look at the speed of the veteran. Takes it baseline. Nice pass. Yes, no good. No good from Mikael Balrami. He won't miss too many of those. In fact, it was Jamshidi.
That's right. Jamshidi was the one who took that shot. But it was an open shot. And if you're Coach Dirk Barman, you have to be happy with that kind of execution, except the shot didn't fall in.
Excellent execution down this end again from Japan. They got the mismatch with Kamrani. They took him down low. They draw the foul. That's 3 team fouls on Iran. Now in this last out-of-bounds play, we saw Japan get caught in the corner, left to a turnover. What do they want to do better here?
I think they're realizing who's on the floor here for Iran. Edadi is not on the floor, and that's why they're a little bit more courageous in going inside and attacking the basket. But that extra pass has been there for them. And Tabuse has made a difference here.
Yeah, that speed allows him to open up the passing lanes. Here's Ono, who's been a focal point early in the game, but that time is no good.
Well, very clearly, if Japan is standing around, then Iran's defense takes advantage and forces them either to drop the ball or take a bad shot. Oh, what a getaway that time.
Again, it's the second time we've seen a beautiful post move from Iran. They can't finish the job. Now another opportunity. This is out to Jamshidi. This time he makes no mistake. The first one was way off. He made the correction. And Iran are out by 3.
And then he's not going to miss that time. Jamshidi and Barami playing together. And that's 2 threats from the outside.
And looking to go inside. A little bit of aggressive defense from Davapana. That's the 4th team foul, so into the bonus after this one for Japan. Now, you talked about Matsui earlier. He's a streaky shooter. He's in the game here. Do you think we'll see a couple of plays run for him?
I would think so. We all remember when Japan beat the Czech Republic 75-61. In an exhibition game just recently, Matsui hit 4 3-point shots, 18 points in 1 quarter alone. So this guy is loaded. He can hit it.
Tabuse for 3. It's short. Rebound to Davapana, who's been active very early on in his minutes. Nice drive to the basket. An outstanding finish from Hasan Zaga. And the backup point guard, Masha Yeka, with a lovely drive and dish.
You know, that kind of execution shows a lot of good communication. Here's Japan.
Japan looking to get the ball to the low block, but Iran doing an excellent job denying that feed the last 2 possessions. But Jamshidi a little aggressive in his defense. He's found Hirose, and he will go to the line for 2 shots.
Ota coming in for Japan. And they're looking to add height to the combination on the floor here for Japan. Takeuchi is still in the game. Ota checking in.
It'll be interesting to see how much they use Ota against Haddad, or whether they go with the Takeuchi matchup and go speed against size. Also misses the first.
Japan has missed several free throws in this game so far.
1 for 5 so far.
And if you're Japan, you have to be happy with the way things are going. They're down by just 4 points in this game. They've missed free throws.
Here's Mashayika. Tabuse ghosting him along the sideline. Mikau. I wouldn't leave him open from there. They do. He fires for 3. It's no good. Strong rebounding. That's the fourth offensive rebound for Iran so far. Japan are going to win this game. They can't continue to give up offensive boards.
Too many second chance opportunities for a high quality team like Iran. Nika Barami has not scored in this game so far. He's taken his shots from the outside. They haven't been falling for it. Japan aware that they don't want Nika Barami to get involved in the offense.
The referee lets that go.
Yeah,
Some
mishandling that time.
Some good pressure defense from Iran, making the center handle the basketball. Doesn't pay off this time. Here's Matsui, the man we've been talking about. Can't get this one. Takeuchi on the board. Clever touch. Away go Iran. Strong drive to the basket. And Masayuki draws the foul. He's been very aggressive, and that's what you want from your backup point guard, isn't it?
That's right, and also that lead pass coming from the big guy of Iran. And if you're a small guy like Masayuki, you need to be available to get that pass and to go for the finish.
And it's the up and down side with a streaky shooter like Matsui. When he's on, it's great, but when he's missing long three-point shots, it's often an outlet pass for the other team, isn't it?
Gives an opportunity to run transition on the other end for Iran. But a low-scoring ball game so far.
Masayuki makes both free throws.
You know, what's impressive so far, Paul, is that both teams look very well prepared to play defense. I think the accent so far has been defense, and it's reflected in the low score.
Yeah, I think at times you can see some teams come in a little rusty on day one. I don't think we've seen that so far. Run up into the passing lanes. It's aggressive defense, but look at that feed inside. And the big man Ota gets the job done.
And patience. That time, working the ball around to make sure that they had an easy two points from the inside.
It was that composure against the pressure defense. They held their composure, and eventually they found the open man.
Again, it's also realizing who your opponents are, which combination is on the floor for Iran. You don't have Kamrani, you don't have Haddadi, you do have Nika Barami, but then Japan's confidence boosted a little bit because two of their key players not on the floor at this time. It's an opportunity for Japan to make headway.
Two-man game for Japan. They go inside to Ota.
That's an offensive foul.
Ota rolling to the basket, but the little man, Masayuki, did a good job of just getting between his opponent and the hoop.
And he took the hit. And that took guts. Big guy like Ota, coming in like a freight train. 1.9 seconds to go.
Long heave is no good, so it's quarter time here. Iran leading 15-11 after 10 minutes. Quinito, I think both teams would take some positives from that quarter.
Oh, without a doubt. I thought defense on both ends, very, very good. I thought we also saw some nice execution in terms of making the extra passes. But Iran pacing the players very obviously. Take a look at the three-point shooting here. Iran has hit 2. Japan has none so far. Rebounding story, Iran with the edge. What about the assists? Iran with 4 assists and 2 for Japan. Turnovers, a lot more for Japan. But despite the advantages of Iran in terms of turnovers, in terms of steals, and the block shot, they're up by just 4 points. Japan doing a good job of staying in the game, keeping it close.
Both teams with 6 individual scorers already. Is that a sign of how well the defense is covering the strengths of the other team?
Well, I think if both these teams are concentrating on defense, they'll need a lot of fresh legs on the floor. The FIBA game is a very fast-paced game. You've got 10 minutes a quarter, and the players are running up and down, so you'll need to use your bench, particularly if you want to focus on defense.
There's that three-point shot from Tanaka, and as we said, Japan, with their lack of height, they're going to have to hit those shots. There's a beautiful feed inside for Ota. Patience inside, finishes with the right hand. Down the other end, here's that feed from Masayuki. He made an impact when he came into the game to give Kamrani a rest.
Oh, without a doubt, yes. A lot of players have come in and made an impact. Take a look at Kamrani. And soaring and scoring off that steal.
So often people talk about the size of Iran and the shooting of Iran. But that speed, led by their point guards, it's so important to their game, isn't it?
That's right. Anytime you have a balance of speed and height in a team and shooting ability, you know that you've got a title contender. And that's also the reason why Iran has somewhat dominated the FIBA Asia Championship for the last 4 stagings, winning 3 of them.
Mashiyuki, he gets a reward for his quality first quarter minutes. He starts the second. An ambitious pass from Jamshidi. It's knocked out of bounds.
It's a typical play that Iran runs when you have the point guard slicing down the middle and then hoping or looking for a big guy coming from behind for a back pass. Usually running that play for Haddadi.
Here's Davapana. He's been impressive so far. Good feed to the corner. Extra pass to Jamshidi, and he nails the 3.
Oh, he's not going to miss. Nobody there to close out on Jamshidi. And what an execution on the part of Iran, keeping that ball moving.
Jamshidi, his first one was obviously just a sider because he has the sights locked in now.
You know, the nice thing about Haddadi is that he's a team player. He doesn't demand the ball all the time.
Beijing with patience, he makes the pull-up jump shot. I thought he may have over-dribbled, but he made the shot in the end.
Good line of sight there.
A little bit of extra pressure on Mashiyuki, trying to expose the backup point guard. Davapana strong to the basket. Again, he finds the shooter. Sahakian. This time, Japan dodges a small bullet on that one. Pick and roll.
Well, interesting that Haddadi's really sprinting up and down, but that time wasn't able to close out. Now he's telling his teammates someone should have gone over to stop Takeuchi, but Takeuchi with 3 points in the game so far.
Quick ball reversal, a pick and pop with Takeuchi.
Yep.
And Haddadi didn't want to be out there to guard it. He's in his more familiar territory now. Nice touch pass. And Iran can't connect from long range.
And Haddadi not able to get the offensive rebound. Japan aware of his presence. They know where Haddadi is posting up, so they want to make sure that there's a body between him and the basket to prevent him from getting the offensive rebound.
For the second possession in a row, we have an early on-ball screen testing out that Iranian transition defense. Davapana takes a well-earned rest. Afag back into the game.
Rather long rest here for Kamrani.
Iran so far just 3 of 10 from long range, and if they continue to struggle from there, then Japan are going to continue to double team the low post. Hajima again on the pull-up, this time unsuccessful.
Good opportunity though to try to score from medium range, but here's Iran once more.
Clean the defensive glass. They've only given up 1 offensive rebound so far. Nice pass inside. Strong move from Sahakian, and he was struggling from outside, so it made a nice cut.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he did hit 2 of those 3-point shots very early on in the game, and then he started to miss. But that's his natural position. He's a power forward, and if Japan is going to double Haddadi, then Sahakian is going to have a lot of open opportunities for himself to get those rebounds.
Ricardo with a quick drive. I think he caught Afag by surprise with a pull-up jump shot, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Furukawa, one of the shooters of Japan, 27 years old.
He shot 45% from the arc at the William Jones Cup this year, and that's there's not too many people who can hit at that rate. But it seems every time we pump up one of these Japanese players for their three-point
Why does that happen
shooting,
so often?
they miss their free throws. Perhaps they need to take a few steps back and shoot them from the arc.
But Japan has had a storied history in emerging shooters. Earlier we talked about Orimo and Masatomo Taniguchi, stars in Japanese basketball history who were lights-out shooters. And they're really looking for players who can emulate the kind of shooting that Orimo and Taniguchi had when in their heyday.
Much like Palestine in the previous game, Japan are hanging around here. Some mix-up defense here. They left it far too open though. And there's a big difference between stepping off and giving a wide open shot.
Exactly. There's got to be recognition on who the shooters of Iran are. And certainly Afag is one of them. You need to have a hand on Afag, distract him.
Hijama with the backdoor cut. And that's a tough finish amongst 3 defenders.
Well, Japan playing gutsy basketball right now, hanging around. They're down by 5, but you see there's effort. Now they're playing a 2-3 zone defense.
Perhaps the most gutsy has been Hayashima. Now he has been taking the ball at the defense.
Now here's one way to take away the post move of Haddadi, but Haddadi, a brilliant passer, and he's looking for Sahakian. He's a guy who moves very well, especially underneath the basket, getting himself available for the pass and the score.
And again, we saw Sahakian, who struggled earlier, take it inside, just as Takeuchi does. And he keeps Japan within touch. It's a 5-point game. We're 4 minutes into the second quarter. And I like the way Japan keep going at their bigger opponent. We haven't seen them settle for 3-point shots yet.
And Haddadi on the repost, but he's looking to pass. Now he's going to look to score. Who can stop it?
What a spin move. And the patience from Haddadi. He kept feeding the ball back out until the defense had to rotate, and then he spun it and jammed it with 2 hands.
That's patience on his part.
Japan being patient here as well. Arao into the game. Hayashima. He's got 8 on the shot clock. High ball screen. And an ambitious pass. Kamrani's been around long enough to pick that off. And a sacrificial foul from Hayashima.
To stop the play from happening here for Iran. But Kamrani's made a difference here, breaking up plays of Japan. And we talked about his leadership and court vision, and he certainly showed that so far.
There's a timeout here in the second quarter. It's Iran 27, Japan 20. Now, is this a danger time for Japan? 7 points down. We've got 5 minutes until halftime. What do they need to keep this margin within by the main break?
Well, you see the situation here where Haddadi is getting his up.
Haddadi on top, and we see here some of the highlights that you can look forward to seeing later on in this championship. Follow us online. There is the Iranian huddle, and as you said, Haddadi starting to get on top.
That's right, and he's been responsible for this breakaway for Iran. Once he has that situation where he's at the low post, and earlier we saw 2 reposts for him until finally the defense breaking down for him to just scoot inside and score in the dunk. Unstoppable play here when it comes to Haddadi, that close to the basket.
And we see so much of the attention starting to go to their main big man. Sahakian slipping inside. He's up to 7 points. He's got 3 rebounds. And that's something Japan can't allow to happen. They can't allow one of the role players to get off the chain, can they?
That's true. A power forward like Sahakian, he can hurt you from inside, he can hurt you outside. But I go back to the play of Haddadi, the way he plays offense. First, he's not just relying on the seal. He's not just relying on the low post movement. He's playing pick and roll. He's playing the high picks, and he's making it difficult for Japan to read what he's going to do on the floor. And as a result, he's making his teammates look so much better.
You see some nice movement out of the timeout from Iran. This is real trademark stuff. So often it ends with an on-ball screen at the top. Touch pass from Haddadi. And Afag is fouled. And how about that 7'2" big man, 218 centimeters, just with a no-look touch pass to a 3-point shooter.
And he was actually rolling. That was off a pick and roll. But he wasn't looking to score on the roll. He was looking to pass. Unselfish play here by Haddadi. And Afa going to the line for, I would think, 3 free throws. I think he might have been fouled taking a 3-point shot.
It was Iran 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Japan 4 of 8. But it's from beyond the arc that the Iran have put a gap on their opponents. They're 4 of 11 so far. And we give Iran a wrap from the free throw line and they miss one. But Japan just 2 3-point shots so far. That's not something we expected this early in the game. We thought perhaps the size of Iran would force them to the outside. As Afag makes the adjustment.
I think Iran does a very good job of closing out on Japan's shooters, and that's making it difficult for Japan to get open looks. Here's the adjustment.
Afag up to 5 points, and I guess when you have such a presence inside the paint, you can close out a lot harder than perhaps Japan can without that shot block. Here's Tabuse.
Oh, there's an illegal pick set there by Takeuchi.
One thing Japan can't afford is for Takeuchi to get into foul trouble. That's his second. Ota on second as well, on two as well. So interesting to see what moves we see from the Japanese bench.
It's tough. It's a big challenge for them because they're up against not only Ehedari but also Sahakian. And again, the double team.
Afag this time, he hasn't been hitting from outside, and we see the intelligence of the Iranian players. He recognized that. He took the driving lane and finished with the left hand.
You also notice that Japan doesn't recover quick enough to stop the gaps off the double team. Here's Kamrani, almost a steal.
He's creating mayhem out there with his quick hands.
And great on-ball pressure defense by Kamrani.
Sahakian heads to the bench for Iran. He gets an affectionate tap on the head from Coach Baumann saying, good job. I'm sure Baumann can just sense that the breaking point is approaching. If they can put the foot down defensively, they can have a match-winning lead at half-time. Go back to this play of Ono posting up the small defender for Kamrani.
That's three steals for Kamrani.
Leads the break. Japan do a good job. They get 4 sets of feet in the paint. And Iran have to reset. They lead at 31-20.
I think Paul, Iran does a very good job of forcing Japan to over-dribble. Once that happens and there's stagnation in the offense, then they can play good defense.
Half of three. He gets his offensive board. Again,
a second chance opportunity.
He can't leave this man open. He missed one. Misses this one, and a good job by Takeuchi. Not always easy to crash the boards on 2 fouls, but he gets the job done there.
You know, Nika Barami has not scored a point in this game so far. A little bit out of sync. You know, he didn't play with Iran in the Jones Cup.
Tabusi with the long two, wins out. An offensive, just the second offensive board. Kamrani again.
What a dive for the ball. That's what you call all-court hustle. And he made it possible for Iran to get possession. Now you have to applaud that kind of effort. Hustle play.
Inspirational stuff from the Iranian leader. On ball screen at the top. And so often the Iranians are going to that high ball screen with Haddad setting it and then rolling to the front of the rim.
And he's really not looking to score. Can you imagine if Haddad has in mind to score off the pick and roll?
Haddad getting a well-earned rest. We have a timeout to Japan. And Coach Kenji Hasegawa has a lot to talk about with his team trailing 31-20. Put yourself in Coach Hasegawa's shoes. What are you talking about in this timeout?
Tough situation here. I think you'll need to make adjustments in terms of not only covering Haddad, but also putting a lot of pressure on Kamrani because he's making the plays happen. And if Haddad is up providing the screen on the pick and roll, you need to be able to either stop him from rolling or put the squeeze play on the man with the ball, prevent the ball from getting into his hands. So a squeeze play off the pick and roll.
You see Sahakian, and the same thing you're talking about. The defense rotated off the pick and roll. He cut to the gap and hit it. That time, the defense let the three-point shot open. And that time, the secondary double team had already left.
That's right.
And when there's no
that was on the
team,
second repost.
There's no double team. Haddad is going to score more often than not.
Iran looking very good in terms of execution. And even if Barami hasn't even gotten a single point across his name, they're looking good. But you see Coach Dirk Barman realizing that Nika Barami needs to get his confidence going. They need to create shots for him. He's in the ball game. You see him on your screens.
Will this play be for him? He's a dangerous shooter out of timeouts. Instead, they go to Afag. This last one, but this one misses. And a good box out from Ota there.
Haddad is not on the floor, by the way, so he's an opportunity for Japan to try to make some kind of headway. Nice pass inside, but again, broken up. The anticipation of Iran, impeccable in this game.
Kamrani wide open, can't get this one to go. Now a chance for Tabusi in the open court. Iran do an excellent job of getting back. Afag commits the foul. It's only the third team foul this quarter.
And Paul, you see a situation where Tabuse trying to run from court to court, and then realizing he doesn't have the numbers because none of his teammates running quite as fast as him.
And Japan looked dangerous early in the game, pushing out in transition.
With a speed game, exactly.
But they haven't been able to
No.
maintain that speed. Here's Ono.
Oh, I think there's a little bit of a drawback here in terms of the combination on the floor. Coach Hasegawa of Japan wants to have big guys on the floor because Iran has been so dominant off the boards. So they're giving up some speed here. They're sacrificing speed for some size.
Nice up fake from Kabuse, but he can't get the shot to go in. There's been some good execution the last few plays from Japan, but they can't complete the play. Now Iran a chance to make this a 13 or 14 point game. Kamrani, nice feed. Navapana for three, he misses. Again,
big
an
offensive rebound.
Hassan Zada inside. That's the 6th offensive rebound for Iran so far, and it's allowing them to control the speed of the game.
You know, what you like about Iran's execution in the offense is that when they run the pick and roll or the pick and pop play, you're running actually a two-man game, but neither one of those two players is really the option to try to score the basket. They're looking for that extra guy, the man who will be left open off the pick and roll or off the pick and pop. That kind of execution is driving Japan crazy. They really don't know which shooter they need to close out on.
And we've seen a difference in composure between the two sides in that Iran will wait for the defense to move and pick the open shooter and then move the ball till someone's open. Japan trying to go to the first option that presents, and Iran able to read that with their experience.
You know, I also read the influence of Coach Bowerman in this Iranian team. They're playing very disciplined basketball. They're playing within a system where everybody gets an opportunity to contribute heavily for this team.
Zada makes the second free throw. He's up to 3 points. He has 4 boards as well. The lead is out to 12. Japan must score on this trip. It's been a long drought. There's a bit of over-aggressive defense there from Nick Al-Balrami.
Well, Iran's still not getting the penalty. Jamshidi coming in once more. And you have to like the combination of Jamshidi and Nika Barami together because both of them are excellent flat-out shooters from the outside.
On the next foul, both teams will be into the bonus.
Matsui back in the game.
Yeah, whenever they need him to hit some shots, this is the time. He's lurking on the baseline. Here's Hirose looking down low. Takeuchi with a quick move to the weak side, and he scores. And that's what Takeuchi can do against bigger, slow opponents, and he gets the bonus.
Well, he's got that nice footwork, and you watch it right here on this replay. And taking it on the reverse, getting the jump.
That's an excellent finish because that was some physical defense from Hassan Zada. He was trying to ride him under the backboard.
Takeuchi, however, missing that free throw.
Japan 4 of 9 from the charity stripe. Again, that high pick and roll, the pick and pop that time from Iran. Strong drive to the basket. And how good has Mashayiki been? He has been fearless going to the paint.
That's right. And what an alternative to Kamrani that he's able to come inside and make an impact. Even with the court general Kamrani sitting on the bench, he's still able to make plays.
We talked about Ono's deadly shooting from long range. He couldn't get that one to go. Now Balrami, nice feed. Jamshidi with the finish. He can't get it to go. And once again, Iran on the offensive glass. Long 3-point shot from Davan Pana. He hits the triple. It's a 15-point game, and Iran rolling as if they picked up from their last start, the 2013 tournament.
Well, clearly the momentum is on the side of Iran, and they're playing excellent defense, forcing another turnover on Japan.
Iran want to put the foot to the throat. Coach Dirk Baumann takes a timeout. There's 27 seconds left in this first half. It's Iran 37, Japan 22. It seems early in the game, Japan looks so good with a bit of ball movement. And Iran have stepped up the defense, haven't they? They're closing down those lanes.
I think the combinations that Coach Bowerman has been able to put on the floor has wreaked havoc on Japan's offense. They've got a player like Masayeki who's done wonders because of his quickness in stopping the offensive flow of Japan. And you see Coach Barman going through the patterns, going through the drills. And even with 27.6 seconds to go, you see how committed he is to get his players to play the kind of disciplined basketball that his system requires.
He's all about process, and he would look at this stats board, he'd see 4 more offensive rebounds and 8 less turnovers. That's 12 more possessions his team has had. And when you're going at that rate of possessions, you're going to win a lot more games than you lose.
Basketball, a game of possessions. Every time you get a lot of offensive rebounds, every time you force turnovers, it means added possessions on your part, more opportunities for you to score. I'm interested to find out how many field goals attempts Iran has made as compared to Japan.
They've had 33 field goal attempts to 21.
Big difference, again, because it's been a game of possessions because of the big advantage in offensive rebounding and the turnovers and steals.
Masayeki, he's running the clock down. Debussy, he's calling for some help defense.
There's a high pick, and then the option outside.
Shot clock down to 3. He's going to have to go up. Davin Pana with the rush shot. And that's half-time, folks. It's 37 to 22. Now, a little bit of dispute here, a little bit of questioning whether that was a shot clock violation or not. The referees will talk about it, and they've called half-time. So
yeah, it looks like time over. When you're looking at the clock.
There is some dispute from the players, but the referees are holding firm that that's half-time. And what a first half from Iran. They lead 37, Japan 22. And Kunito, who have been the dominant figures out there for you so far in the first half?
Oh, every time Haddadi has been in the floor, he's been such a huge factor. Nika Barami has not contributed at all in this ball game, but Jamshidi has. Masayeki has done an excellent job in providing relief for Kamrani. You take a look at the three-point shooting right there, and then the rebounding story has been close. But what about the assists of Iran? 7 feet so far against 2 for Japan. And then in the steals, the anticipation of where the ball is going to the passing lane has been on cue for Iran's defense.
And the Iranian defense, it's done such a good job of forcing the Japanese to pass it where Iran want them to pass it. They've closed down the dangerous space and then been able to anticipate.
And of course, the inside defense of Iran has been tremendous. And in terms of offense, look at the way they just move inside, gliding in for the easy layup. And then Haddadi with a two-handed stuff shot.
And they've been so effective with the inside-outside play, forcing the Japanese defense to scramble and then taking whatever they get, whether it's a three-point shot, a post-up, or a drive to the basket.
You know, interesting, Paul, that in the first quarter, it was a close game. Iran was up by just 4 points, and then a big breakaway. And you see Coach Barman applauding his players. Japan trying to work the ball inside. Ota using his size, using his ability to get inside for the easy 2 points. And then the movement of Takeuchi down the baseline on the reverse. And unhappy, Coach Barman allowing Takeuchi that kind of space down the baseline.
And that's the energy we talk about from Kamrani, diving on the floor to get that steal. And his apprentice, Masayeki, he's had just as much energy out there, and he's been fearless driving to the basket. It's halftime here between Iran and Japan. The defending champions lead 37 to 22. We'll be back for the second half. Join us to see if Japan can mount a comeback.
，OK， 3个问题，我们还会有很多更简单也更多的礼品送给大家啊，大家要关注我们的互动环节，谢谢。
球而战。对马国家连续9回把即刻8分play。每一个汗水，为你满意的选择；每一次专注，呵护你所有的幸福；每一次分手，都有我始终如一的品质追求。用心付出，放心收获。用心自然好。湖南粮食集团。湖南建工集团，湖南省首家房屋建筑工程主承包，科级资质企业集团，连续10年入选中国企业500强，连续15年荣获70项中国建设工程5等奖，致力打造成为集项目投资运作、实施和经营5领域一体的总服务商，国内建筑业先锋企业。为国家经济和社会发展做出更大的贡献。雪花。
Certificate is brought to you by the following marketing partners: 中公悦达起亚、PYK 医疗、百岁山、Anthems、英特体育、Nature Sport、日本航空公司、Japan Airlines、国航、Mountain、李克体育、E Sport、先说 Visa、湖南粮食集团有限公司、湖南 Great Group、吉祥人寿保险股份有限公司、吉祥 Life Insurance Company、五矿集团湖南开发有限公司、Inventories Property 湖南 Development、大连华尔城生物科技发展有限公司、大连华尔城 Biotechnology Development、中科时代电动汽车股份有限公司、湖南 CRRC Times Electric Vehicle、湖南省建筑工程集团总公司、湖南 Construction Group、湖南五环体育实业发展集团有限公司、湖南 Vibrant Sports Industrial Development Group、华润雪花啤酒有限公司、China Resources Snow Breweries。同时，我们还要感谢以下单位，他们是 We also thank all the following official partners： 国际篮球联合会 FIBA、中国篮球协会 China Basketball Association、湖南省人民政府 People's Municipal Government of Hunan Province、湖南省体育局、湖南 Sports Courier、湖南体育产业集团有限公司、湖南 Sports Industry Group、体坛传媒集团股份有限公司、体坛 Media Group、长沙行政职业技术学院、长沙 Social Work College、中南林业科技大学 South University of Forestry and Technology。我们还要向关注2015国际篮联亚洲篮球锦标赛的各家媒体表示感谢。Thank you very much, all media. 好的，现场的观众朋友们，距离下半场的比赛已经开始不到1分钟了，大家是不是用最热情的掌声来送给双方的运动员？谢谢大家，我相信大家的热情也会激励场上的球员们，给我们贡献出更加精彩的比赛。
Welcome back to Changsha in Japan, in China, for the FIBA Asia Championship. This is Game 3 of Day 1. It's Iran versus Japan. Iran, of course, the defending champions. I'm Paulo Kennedy. I'm joined by Juanito Henson next to me, our star analyst for the day. And Iran played like the defending champions in that first quarter, didn't they?
Well, in the first quarter, I don't know. It was pretty close. They were up by just 4, but in the second quarter, that was when the breakaway happened. And if you review the halftime stats, you'll notice that Coach Dirk Barman really going to the bench. They had a 16-3 advantage in bench scoring. Japan has not hit a single three-point shot in this game so far.
And taken just 3, which I think is a surprise to everyone. Here's Debussy. He's in the starting lineup for the second half. He didn't start the game. I think, as you said, his speed created a little bit of energy, opened up a few passing lanes in that first quarter. Perhaps the Japanese think that they can create some damage.
I think it's important that they protect their possessions. 11 turnovers in the first half, just too many compared to only 3 for Iran. But here's an opportunity for them to come closer with free throws.
Furukawa to the line. And in that first half, a lot of those turnovers were trying to make difficult passes into the keyway. That time we saw Furukawa driving into the keyway and drawing the contact.
That's right. Well, worried look there in the face of Coach Hasegawa of Japan. And created 2 free throws.
And that's a good start and a welcome change from the first half. It makes both free throws.
And what about the full court press here by Japan to open the second half? But Kamrani easily breaking that press.
Shot clock down to 12 though. Kamrani in a high pick. He finds Ehadade. Again, good ball movement from the Iranians. Shot clock down to 4. Ehadade is going to have to show what a pass. He is a superstar of Asian basketball, and we saw why there.
Wide open space. I mean, for Iran, that's very critical, that you get the space to be able to generate the kind of offense you want. Here's a traveling violation against Japan.
Again, nice execution. It was the same play. Furukawa, nice bounce pass to Takeuchi. A little shuffle step and a turnover number 12 for Japan as the result.
And let's see whether Japan is able to create some turnovers here.
Mikhail Barami, that pressure defense forcing him to run the point. And again, the shot clock down to 12 before Iran are into their offense. Kamrani uses the screen twice, goes to the lane. It's followed up by Ehadade. Quality Iranian basketball.
Well, Ehadade making sure that they got the basket that time, but I thought Kamrani did an excellent job in opening up the situation for Ehadade.
He's picked, he has his pocket picked by Kamrani from behind. Turnover number 13.
Coach Eric Barman asking for an unsportsmanlike foul, saying that it could have been a breakaway.
Look at the halftime stats. Japan shooting 43% from the field and Iran 38%. It's just that Japan can't look after the ball enough to create those good shots.
Exactly, and providing a lot more possessions for Iran. 34 field goal attempts against 21 field goal attempts for Japan in the first half.
Mikhail Barami continues to struggle from the field. Japan with a chance to cut this deficit. Quick shot. An offensive board from Takeuchi. And while he's been outsized, he's got 7 points and 8 rebounds, and you can't fault his efforts so far today.
Number 7,
Kamrani called for the personal foul. Now he's only scored 2 points in this game, and he's got 3 personal fouls. But he's leaving an imprint of his game right here on the floor.
Outside of Ehadade, he's probably been the most influential player on the court. Here's Tabusi, he hits.
That's the first 3-pointer scored by Japan in this game, coming from the NBA veteran. They played just 4 games for the Phoenix Suns.
That's his first ever points in the FIBA Asian Championship at the ripe young age of 34. He brings his team back within 14. Now's the time to get some stops. Ehadade, that time an ambitious pass.
And he could have actually powered his way and tried to score in a jump hook, but as I said, he's really looking to facilitate, he's really looking to pass to open teammates in creating situations.
Well, he's so used to a triple team that he just assumed it was coming that time as Afar shoots from range. And Takeuchi with board number 9. Here's Tabusi. This is what they need from him. Kamrani on the bench with 3 fouls. They need him to make some plays and create some shots for teammates. Furukawa, he's been active early in this quarter. Here he is for a long 3-point shot, but it's short. Afar with the rebound. Look at the speed. Sahakian with lovely touch off the glass. He's up to 9 points.
Number 11.
And the lead back out to 16. And whenever Japan make a mistake, they get made to pay, don't they?
That's right. Iran capitalizes so quickly.
Here's Japan looking to get some ball movement. Furukawa with a pull-up jump shot. Takeuchi. In fact, it wasn't. It's some good hustle on the boards. And that was Ono. You know, he's certainly been high on effort levels today, Ono, even though the shot perhaps hasn't been dropping like he would prefer.
But in that situation, again, the hustle of Iran, giving them the possession.
Shimika up against Tabusi. It's a quality matchup. It's the young against the old. He goes to the rim, as he has all day.
And he's going to go to the line. It's almost like Iran doesn't take a back step when Kamrani is sitting on the bench. When you have someone like Mashayeki coming in
much he's got the same attitude as his veteran leader, hasn't he? It's coming off that high ball screen, he's going to the basket, and if the defense doesn't react to stop him, he's going all the way. He steps to the free throw line. He's 2 of 2 from there so far today. He has 4 points. Make that 5.
Only 21 years old. And in the Jones Cup that just recently finished, he averaged 8.3 points, certainly contributing to Iran's offense.
Iran now 8 to 10 from the free throw line. Here's Hayashima. Nice crossover dribble to the pull-up jump shot. That makes it. Sweet move from Hayashima.
That's right, and he did that against Nika Barami.
Hayashima now up to 6 points. Tabusi again dogging his counterpart. Nikau looking to get going. Head down to the basket. Good help defense from Japan. Tanaka stepped in the way, put his body on the line. Down to 10 on the shot clock.
What you have to like is the way Iran sets up its screens. It's a series of screens to get the man with the ball open for a possible shot. And Nika Barami goes to the bench. He really hasn't enjoyed a good game at all. He's only had 2 points.
No, but Jamshidi has enjoyed that time. He's got 6 himself, and he's enjoyed the extra.
Oh, wide open. Wide open layup right there.
David Panay enjoyed the open layup. He drove to the baseline. He extends his team's lead to 18. Once again, some danger signs for Japan after a strong opening to this half.
And look at the way Iran is clogging the lane. Oh, but that time,
Tabusi with a strong drive.
yes.
And how about the pass from Tanaka? He anticipated Tabusi coming off the screen. He found him in motion.
And the quickness of Tabusi, you saw it right there, very evident. Drive down the baseline.
I think the key here for Japan is defense. They've given up 47 points already. They've got to get some stops and allow themselves the chance to get back in this game. Won't get it with one out coverage on their Haddadi. Fadeaway jump shot he's done many times before in his career.
Nothing Japan can do to stop a shot like that. I think the key is to make sure that Haddadi doesn't get the touch that close to the basket.
Tabusi with a strong drive. He's met solidly. Jamshidi the other way. He misses.
And Sahakian was right there once more for the finish.
Sahakian always with the hustle plays. His teammate misses. He's there. It's a 20-point ball game. Timeout called. It's Iran 51, Japan 31. It just seemed that, at the start of the game, Japan, there were some promising signs. At the start of this third quarter, there were some promising signs.
You take a look at Hiyajimas leading Japan scores with 8 points.
And Takeuchi with 9 rebounds.
9 rebounds, yes.
He talked about that as a weakness, but he's certainly done his bit so far. As we look at some of the great action from around world basketball, you can catch at a FIBA court near you.
And the best of international basketball right here, live basketball TV. And we're watching the best of Asian basketball.
Yeah.
Under one roof here in Changsha. Chinese Dirk Barman, earlier, right before sitting down his players for this timeout, Sahakian was complaining to the referee that he was fouled on that follow-up play. And I saw Coach Barman going over to Sahakian and telling him, look, you've got to show discipline. I could almost read his lips and telling him, you have to play with poise and composure.
I guess if there's been a tale of today's game, it has been the Iranian discipline.
Yeah.
Almost every set, offensively, defensively, they're doing exactly what their coach wants them to do.
And look at the way Iran is now practicing its defense. Full court press, and then they go to a 2-3 zone defense set. And then they got the turnover. So surprising Japan out of that timeout.
Yeah, Mashiyuki with the energy play. Now he's looking to go to the basket again. Strong roll. Davin Bernard to the left hand. This is Asaki, and who else would be there for the
Offensive rebound, exactly.
They get another opportunity. Offensive rebound, number 10 for Iran. Now a deep seal. Davin Pinar again. Good help defense from Japan this time. They can't get the boards. And again it hurts Japan. Second chance opportunity. Iran lead by 22.
Well, Hassan Sadeh getting the inside position. And even if his first attempt didn't work, he's right there. He's hustling. And for Japan, they really need to be able to bring up that energy.
Ojima has certainly been aggressive so far today. He has 8 points in 19 minutes of action. He's been taking at the taller Iranian defense. It's been a tough ask for Japan so far today. They trail by 22. There's 3 minutes and 45 seconds till three-quarter time. That is turnover number 15 for Japan.
Not enough space that time. They try a high-low play. Not enough space for the receiver to get the pass.
And again, it comes from Iran jamming the passing lane, so they have to try the difficult pass over the defender.
Easily breaking the Japanese press. Iran now running the half court.
And they're happy. Even when the shot clock's down, they go straight to that high ball screen set. This time, Japan scrambles well. Tough drive along the baseline from Masayuki.
You know, what you like also about Iran is that they have excellent awareness of how much time is left on the shot clock at every opportunity. Here's Japan trying to speed up things. Momentum is clearly shifted, dictating the tempo is Iran. And for Japan to make things happen, they need turnovers, they need big stops, and they need big baskets on the other end.
You say they need speed. We see the discipline of Jamshidi on the replay there. Creating the foul to stop the fast break, make it a half-court game. 3:16 to play until three-quarter time. It's 53-31 to Iran. Takeuchi working with Iyajama. Again, Masayuki just so active. And anytime Japan has got that mismatch in the low post, the Iranian point guards have been able to disrupt, knock it out of bounds, or get a steal, and force Japan to start again.
Willie's got Kamrani as a mentor, and you see how quick his hands are in deflecting passes, stopping the touch from coming in.
Iran switching defense there. Eventually it ends up at the three-point line, but it's long from Furukawa.
Furukawa has been his day, only 5 points for the shooter of Japan. Again, no stagnation in the offensive movement of Iran. Looks like an offensive foul, illegal pick.
I think Jamshidi there left a little early. He didn't wait for the screen to arrive, and any good big man will tell you that the guard has to wait for the big man to get there, or it's going to be an offensive foul. Gives Japan that opportunity, but they need to make it string a few baskets together before three-quarter time. Again, we see the stagnant half-court offense. There's not a lot of player movement. It's allowing Iran to close up the keyway. Here's Hiyajima, shot clock to 8. Goes to the left-hand feed, but look at the recovery.
The anticipation.
The defensive recovery of Davin Pinar, and all the Iranian big men have done it so far. Here he is at the other end in the low block. Tough shot. Oh, finish with the right hand.
Under duress, there was a lot of pressure, and yet he was able to get the shot to fall in. Hassan Zadeh.
Japan would be thinking when it rains at pause, he bobbled that ball, but he had the composure to get it back under control, flip it up with the right hand. Davin Pinar to 5 points, but it's been a more valuable contribution than that. Behind the back pass, nice from Tanaka, inside. Odo can't finish. Goes again, no luck for the Japanese. And so many of their efforts have been fruitless. Look at that feed. Jamshidi with a big smile on his face after he found his big man rolling down the middle. And once again, Iran to the free throw line. They can extend this lead to 26.
And I see the biggest smile on the face of Coach Barman. I mean, he has to be happy with the way Iran is playing. Running the ball well. You've got your big man sprinting. Looking to finish on the break. What more could you ask for? Even with Ehdadi sitting down, Kamrani sitting down in sort of semi-foul trouble with 3 personal fouls. You've got your number 9 fellow, Hassan Zadeh, at the line looking for free throws.
So often people talk about the big three for Iran, but today it's been every player coming on, doing their job, filling their role, whether it's rotating on offense, making the extra pass, whatever it is, they've got the job done, and Japan have had no answer so far.
Oh, the bench depth is so evident here with Iran back in the first half. 16-3 advantage in bench points. And now they're pouring it on here in the third period.
Hashimoto into the game at the point guard for Japan. They're going to go down low. Here's Takeuchi. Spins to the right hand. What a move from Takeuchi.
And he'll go to the line. That time, Takeuchi getting the drop on Hasanzadeh.
And it's easy to look at that and say, why haven't Japan gone to that more often? But it's been the pressure of Iran. They haven't allowed them to execute their sets, have they?
Well, it's the kind of pressure that Japan, I think, wanted to put on Kamrani, not to allow the touch or the touches for Ehedadi inside.
We saw them do that just briefly at the start of this quarter when they pushed up the floor and denied Kamrani the ball. But to execute
with the press, yes.
To execute that, you've got to put the ball through the hoop so that you can set your pressing defense. And that has been the issue for Japan. A little bit more full court pressure. It's Hashimoto gets a hand on that. But Mashiyuka, as he does so well, he takes it strong to the basket.
What quickness by Mashieki. Oh, Takeuchi, he'll go back to the line, taking advantage of that lapse.
And Hashimoto just making an impact off the bench with his speed. He got a hand on that, he couldn't quite get the steal. Then he pushes it back in transition, and a great quick post feed to Takeuchi before the help defense could get set.
Well, I'm reading that Japan is looking at Nika Barami as the weak link in defense. They seem to be attacking his defense right here.
You know, perhaps that's had an impact on his offense as well. Just 2 points. But as I said, still doing a job. 7 rebounds so far for Barami. Takeuchi makes both. He's got a double-double. 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Here's that pressure coming from Hashimoto, and then 3 men converging on Mashieki, but easily breaking that press. So even against the trap of Japan, Iran able to get the ball in play. 5 seconds to go, finally a turnover.
That's where Japan will take heart. They had that shot clock down to 11 before Iran started their offense. Now they have to execute. They have 16 turnovers so far. When they're able to get the ball into their big man, things look good. Here he's got a one-out matchup. Spins baseline, the help comes. 5 on the shot clock. Tough shot from Tanaka. And he gets it to go. Just the first time in a long time. 2 straight baskets. And Hashimoto again with the pressure defense.
A good trap that time. And on Nika Barami.
Again, going at that one play. We saw on the last trap. Well, Nika Barami was the man they left open. They were prepared to let him take that shot. There's 17 seconds until 3/4 time. We've got a timeout. It's Iran 58, Japan 36. So 17 seconds to play, Cornito. What play do you run here if you're Iran?
Well, 22 points ahead of Iran. If you're Iran, you want to be able to continue the quick pace that they've been showing. I think Mashieki has been able to break the press rather easily. And for them to just play the kind of composed basketball that they played against the press of Japan. For Japan, they were able to force the jump, except that with the possession error going to Iran, we're not able to get the possession. But I think that kind of trapping defense is something that they need to be able to get turnovers. And then if they can convert on the other end, then they might be able to make this a more exciting game coming into the 4th period. Now, it's all a matter of building up. 22-point lead against a mighty team like Iran, but if you're Japan, you want to build on this and try to gain some kind of confidence level for the next game.
So 17 seconds until the break. At what point, if you're Iran, what point do you attack the basket? Do you wait till 5 seconds or 8 seconds?
I would always think that you wait for about 5 seconds before you attack, but it also depends on whether the man with the ball is going to do the attacking or if he's going to pass. So it depends on what kind of instructions came from Coach Bowerman.
Pressure here from Japan and a 5-second violation.
5 seconds
And in the
violation.
last 2 or 3 minutes since Hashimoto came into the game, the work rate and the intensity of Japan has lifted.
He's been a pesky defender. Coach Dirk Barman not very happy because that came off a timeout. Weren't able to inbound the basketball. The pressure defense of Japan working a little bit now.
4次的比赛的间隙，我们继续的来欣赏啦啦队友的精彩表演。
So now it's Coach Hasegawa's chance in the timeout. Who do you go to? You're going inside to Takaichi or are you using him as a decoy?
I would say use him as a decoy, but it also depends on whether he's got shooters on the floor, whether he has the confidence to go straight up.
You see that soft touch from
Sahakian has been such a force in this game. Outside shooting, his power rebounding, getting extra possessions for Iran, and then running the break. He's been a key contributor.
Those last 2 highlights, both Iranian guards going to the basket, and that has opened up the offensive rebounding opportunities because the Japanese defense has to collapse.
That's true. And with Iran, they have just so many options, but they have quickness. They have guys big guys who can run the floor, and making it so difficult for Japan to play the kind of defense that they want. So their alternative really is to put pressure on the ball carrier and to prevent any sort of action in the half court for Iran.
There's Takaichi. See if they isolate him for one of his quick moves to the baseline. Or they'll use Hashimoto's speed. Here we go with Hiroshima with the ball at the top.
I'm looking at shooters here. Furukawa's in a corner. Let's see whether they can get him the ball. But Sahakian is right there. Oh, Hiyajima.
Got one out. Takaichi inside. But another offensive rebound. But again, the discipline of Iran. He's boxed out the big fella, even on the mismatch. And they're rewarded with a 22-point lead at three-quarter time. It's Iran 58, Japan 36.
Well, what that showed, Paul, was the confidence of Iran in playing one-on-one basketball. Japan wanted to spread the floor, get some action going in a two-man game, or perhaps open a situation for corner shooters. Take a look at the rebounding situation. Iran opening up a 5-rebound advantage, and the assists 9-3. Turnovers, too many errors on the part of Japan with 16, and only 6 for Iran. Those steals are 11-3. Big advantage for Iran as well.
Again, we look at the shot numbers. 50 field goal attempts for Iran and just 33 for Japan.
Game of possessions. Too many offensive rebounds being given up by Japan. And you see Haddadi faking and then passing off. I think he's happiest when he's sharing the basketball.
He is, and any point guard would have been proud of that pass.
Yeah.
There we see him with the block shot. And that was Hiroshima with the pull-up jumper. That was one of the best plays of the day for Japan.
And that was taken off Barami, Nika Barami. And for a while I was saying that perhaps Japan realizing that Barami might be the weak link in Iran's defense. And by the way, Iran's defense has been outstanding in this game.
With only giving up 36 points in 3 quarters.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
Sure there's been too many weak links.
And Hazmzadeh has also been a major contributor to Iran's cause.
Just another one of their role players who's done his job. He hasn't been interested in scoring 20 points or being the star.
I'm even thinking, Paul, that Haddadi is enjoying his new role as a role player. I mean, he can score anytime he wants to, I think, especially when he has the ball on the low block. But in this game, you're seeing him sharing the ball. You see him breaking out to a smile when he's passing off and getting a nice assist.
There's 1 quarter to play here, and Iran, the defending champions, have certainly put on a display to signal their intentions for this tournament. They lead 58-36. What can Japan do? They need to use this quarter as a launch pad for their final 2 games in group play.
That's right. I think this is a building block game for them. There will be 2 further games for both these teams. Malaysia and India are still waiting in the wings. And, you know, for Japan and Iran, this could be a battle for number 1 in Group A. Not to, of course, undermine the efforts of Malaysia and India. But realistically speaking, this could be the battle for number one. And here's an outside shot, a very rare three-point conversion.
That was Hiroshima with 3. He's up to 9 points. Just the third three-point make for Japan today. You see them up the floor again. They take the ball out of the point guard's hands.
Yakchali now bringing up the ball for Iran, a new player on the floor.
Now Davin Sanar, he finds Jamshidi in the corner. Look at that patience and the extra passing from Iran. Now Davin Sanar, he can't make it into Takuchi with another rebound. He's up to 11 for the game. Japan, once again for the few time out in transition, but they turn it over. And into this basket, Davin Sanar, he's up to 7 points.
What an outlet pass coming from Sahakian. Again, the good recognition. You have a teammate running wide open on the other end of the floor.
How hard is it to defend when a team like Iran has such good passing big men?
Like, they're also playing a team system. So when they're playing defense, they play team defense. When they're playing team ball, they're sharing the basketball.
Now they're on Jamshidi trying to deny the low post. Early in the game, they went to Ono quite a bit in the low block, but they haven't been able to get it to him in this second run. We'll see if they go straight there from this inbounds. Here's Yujima off the high screen. Looking to get Matsui open. He can hit that and he does.
And that's it. That's another three-point conversion. That's the second for Japan in this quarter. Matsui needs to get his outside shooting going.
Brings the lead back to 18. What do you think an aim would be? Do they want a beautiful backdoor pass? And again, the team play Sahakian with another assist.
I think Coach Dirk Barman is playing a chess game right here. He doesn't have any of his big three players on the floor. You see how Iran is playing with a lot of confidence.
They have utter belief in their system.
Yeah.
See a foul called down low on Hiroshima. What do you think's a realistic aim for Japan to get this deficit back to by the end of the game?
I think they'll really have to do it possession by possession. Whatever they can get in terms of playing tough defense, forcing a turnover, and then looks like their three-point shots are falling in. They need to be able to work the ball to the hands of their shooters. Takeuchi's game has also has lagged behind here in the second half, and he needs to be able to step it up.
It's about his teammates getting him opportunities, isn't it?
Here's Sahakian.
Sahakian with a strong drive. He just beats the shot clock buzzer and he's going to the free throw line.
You know, that's the veteran smarts of someone like Sahakian, realizing how much time is left in the shot clock. Earlier we were talking about that, the awareness of every Iranian player of how much time is left in the shot clock and trying to beat it. And the experienced Sahakian attacking from the outside, getting himself to the foul line.
And we talked about earlier, he missed his first 2 3-point shots. And since that time, he's only taken 1 shot from the perimeter. He's constantly attacked the basket, whether that's been on the drive or cutting hard behind the defense. And it's resulted in a very effective game for Sahakian. He's now up to 11 points. He's got 5 boards. He's got 2 assists. And that's a quality all-round game for your power forward. Let's go free throws. Iran now 11 of 15 from the free throw line, and that's quality conversion. They're out by 21. Here's Tanaka. The help and recover from Iran. Ball screen is excellent for that drive. Can't get it to go. It's 3 Iranians on the boards, and they're away in transition once again. Afar open at the top. Now will settle. It's that patented high ball screen. Goes again, that European style. Tough pass to catch. Shot clock down to 7.
They need to make a play right now.
It's been their worst possession of the game.
Yes.
Down to 2. He's going to have to throw it up. Before we talk about outstanding execution, things go wrong for all teams some possessions.
Well, think about it. In this combination that Coach Dirk Barman has on the floor, he doesn't have his regular point guard, Kamrani. He doesn't have his second point guard, Mashayeki. So they're going with Yakchali on the floor, bringing up the ball. And that's a little bit of a sacrifice, but then it's giving an opportunity for the third point guard to show what he can do.
He's looked promising, he just hasn't been able to finish those plays.
Oh, aggressive move right there, but not getting the shot. But what an offensive rebound. Man down over on the sideline.
He's a man down who's been hitting the manhood by the look of it. He is clutching his private area. His teammates show immediate concern.
Let's hope he's okay. He's still down on the floor.
Real concern. He looks like he's okay. In fact, it may be the hand. Watch the replay here. I think we're going to lose him just out of the bottom of screen. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there, Quinito. There's obviously something has been twinged during that play.
Well, he's being replaced now by Nico Barami.
Probably a good chance for Nico Barami to let a couple go. Try and get his eye and get himself rolling for the next game.
Well, so far in this quarter, Japan has been able to outscore Iran by 1 point. So they're keeping in close distance. Oh.
That's a hard game. And you talk so many times today about the awareness of the shot clock. Both players aware of exactly how long was left.
And that's the second time he's done it. Earlier, he went to the line on the bailout drive. Here's Japan. Oh, could have gone straight to the basket, but not enough lateral movement. Two big guys on the floor here for Japan.
Nice little bit of interaction between them there, and an excellent up fake from Takeuchi. Almost got himself to the basket.
I thought Ota had an opportunity to go strong to the hole, but hesitated. You know, it's that lack of confidence against a team like Iran.
And that comes from the Iranian defense as Matsui lets go again. He's feeling confident after his last attempt. But that pressure of the Iranian defense, it's inferred pressure. The Japanese players have been rushed, even when there hasn't been a defender up in their face. Here is Barami, ever patient. Here's his chance from a long way out.
Still not there for him, an air ball.
I think you can bet tomorrow before the game, he's going to be in the gym, he's going to be shooting hundreds
Exactly.
of shots. Get his eye back in.
Well, it's a great opportunity for him to be in game shape. I mean, very early in this tournament, because Iran certainly will need his services down the stretch.
And so he gets another open shot. This one doesn't go. And I like through this game, Hajima, his poise has improved. Early in the game, he was rushing that first shot. That time he worked his way off the ball screen, got into the lane, waited for his teammate to get open and found him on the money.
And you see Afag is actually, he's got some ice there. Might have hurt his hand.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a slap on the ball that's got a knuckle. We can only speculate.
Oh, nice inside play that time.
Finished off by Furukawa. It hasn't been his day. But just like Barami, it's an opportunity for all these Japanese players to run into a bit of form in these final 5 minutes.
Running a good trap defense that time. And Barami still not finding his range.
You know, sometimes you have to shoot yourself into confidence. Sometimes you've got to put the cue in the rack. I'm not sure what stage Nico Barami is at yet, but looks like he's going to keep firing. His team's up by 22.
It also looks like Ehedadi and Kabrani probably won't be back in the game any longer. Iran sitting on a 22-point cushion. Kardus, we haven't seen him play.
Just checked into the game.
A veteran, someone who can also give them presence inside. Barami, they're trying to work his offense to go. A nice pass coming from Barami. And again, that's the mark of a veteran. Doesn't have the shot, but he's looking for the teammate who's open.
Yachikali gets onto the scoreboard. On 3, I think Barami may have got a piece of that one. And that's the marvelous thing about the Iranian defense. They're 25 points in front. They haven't dropped the intensity a single notch.
They're still hustling for in every play.
That foul on Furukawa.
And Kardus and Barami, they've worked together in many tournaments. So that time, trying to pick and roll action.
Well, they have 5 players around who are playing in their 5th FIBA Asia Championship. That's a solid core to build around. And you can see the way the other role players can come in and just fit in around those players, fit in around the role that they've created. Nice pass from Yak Charlie. Iran definitely going to Miguel Bahrami to try and get him going. Defense from Iran that time. Here is Bahrami, fall away. Still no chance. Caduce gets in on the action. Yak Charlie with the feed. Beautiful pass, and Hassan Zada finishes off with a 2.
Again, that extra pass.
Yeah, Hassan Zada, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and he's more than done his bit so far tonight.
And he's kept Haddadi on the bench. And Haddadi cheering every move that Hassan Zada has done.
Foul on Bahrami, that's his 3rd. He has 2 points and 3 fouls. I didn't think we'd be saying that
No.
about Bahrami today. Margin out to 29 points. It's been a dominant display from the Iranians. Here's Hashimoto. Loved his work in the 3rd quarter.
Still not there for the outside shot.
Furukawa, he's a player they're going to rely on Japan.
He's a shooter, that's right. He needs to be in
Charlie
sync.
for 3. He can't hit it. Gentle little shove in the back from Hashimoto, but the referee was onto that one.
Now we're seeing Iran testing different combinations, and you like what Coach Barman is doing in bringing Kardust and Hassan Zada playing together. Twin towers, even without Haddadi, they're able to control the boards.
Yak Charlie looking impressive.
Yeah.
Davari just into the game, number 6. So he's certainly giving everyone a run, and no one has looked out of place. I think the best bit with that is that they still, no matter who's on the court, it looks like one unit on defense.
That's right. It's a system that they're running, and it's a very disciplined core on the floor at any one time for Iran. And for Bahrami finally getting it done from beyond the arc. And Kamrani, you see him, and Sahakyan, both of them on their feet applauding that 3-point shot coming from Nika Bahrami. It's about time.
Well, I mean, there aren't many shooters who rely more on confidence than Bahrami. And they know rolling into the games later in the tournament, they want him hitting shots, because some of the better teams in this tournament, they'll double Haddadi, but they'll recover quickly. They need his lightning release to make them pay. Here's Hashimoto. Look at that crossover. He shook Davari out of his shoes. He said, "You've been sitting on the bench all day. You can't stay in front of me."
He's been a jitterbug here. And they brought him in to trigger the full court press.
Well, I think he may have earned some more minutes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Going further into the tournament, because he gets the ball into offense quickly, and he's a willing passer. He'll kick the ball ahead, he'll feed the post. And on a day where Japan have struggled, he's making his free throws. Let's see if I can get him with the commentator's curse.
That's just 2 points for Hashimoto, but yes, he has made somewhat of an impact here in the second half.
Here he is again, leading the press.
And the Japanese like to do that trap. Looks like a foul on Furukawa.
Just a little overly aggressive, putting the arm out.
Both teams in a penalty, so Iran will be shooting free throws once more.
I think if you're a Japanese fan, you'd prefer to see that sort of over-enthusiasm.
Yep.
And perhaps some of the more tentative defense earlier in the game.
I'm seeing Coach Hasegawa calling for a timeout here for Japan. So even with this big lead that Iran has, Japan still wants to talk things over. 2:58 left. They're not looking at this game. They're looking at games down the road.
Well, it's easy to look at the draw and say they play Malaysia, they play India. They should win both those games. They should go to the second round. But you only have to look at what happened here earlier today in Palestine, beating the Philippines, to know that you can't take either of those games lightly. And India, you know, they're a team on the rise. It's a slow and steady rise, but they're a team capable of an upset.
I think that's what makes a competition like this extremely interesting. Anything can happen. We said it at the top of our coverage. The ball is round, that old basketball saying. And you see in that replay, Davarpana hitting the shot on the break. And Sahakyan hitting it from the outside. I think that might be his third three-point conversion in this game.
And And what did all those highlights have in common? They all featured precise Iranian passing.
Right.
They created a shot for one of their teammates.
Sahakian with 15 points in the game. And he has to be happy with his performance.
Now, I know there's a healthy crowd here for this game on day one. A lot of Chinese fans, and I'm sure they'll be impressed with the Iranian form. But what will they be thinking about the matchup they hope will come deeper in the tournament against their team, China?
Oh, that's going to be quite a matchup. Iran and China, the two top favorites in this tournament. Free throws knocked down by Yakhshali of Iran.
Aggressive there from Furukawa. He hasn't stopped trying all game, even though it hasn't been his day.
Oh, traveling violation. Skidded.
Hashimoto there. We talk about the poise that guards need coming off that screen. He just needed to back that out and then find the passing lane. But at his height-sized nature, he can't be trying to force those passes over the big guys.
A nice move to escape the defense of Hashimoto that time.
Hashimoto is relentless. He doesn't back off. Here's Barami. Nice feed to Kadust. Kadust will go to the free throw line. And again, just the precise passing.
And the pick and roll. Yeah.
As soon as the teammates open, the ball goes.
What you like about Iran is that they always shield for each other. They always screen off for one another. Basketball, not only a game of possessions, also a game of screens. And that time, a perfect execution of a pick and roll.
And often it's the European teams and Argentina. We talk about their expert execution of the ball screen, but we've seen Iran today, against a lower quality opposition than they would face in a World Cup. But they have put on a clinic in terms of that sort of execution. If it hasn't worked the first time, they've kicked the ball on, or they've re-screened back the other way and created something. And Jack Charlie with the offensive rebound. O-board number 15 from Iran. They've been dominant in that area. Just over 2 minutes to play. Bahrami, aggressive. Don't get it to go, but who's there? 2 points count. Hassan Zada, he hasn't stopped all game. He gets another rebound. That's 6 in that area. He's up to 12 points and he's got a chance to add to that.
And it's almost as though Iran isn't ahead by 33 points. It's almost like they're even behind the way Iran is playing. All the players contributing, keeping a high level of intensity. A lot of the coaches often tell their players, never look at the scoreboard. You're playing for every possession.
Nice drive. Once again, operation successful. Patient dies. Iran with another opportunity. Nice feed from Bahrami. Davari looking to get on the scoreboard.
And hand got locked in there. Kardus is an imposing presence.
In fact, there's 2 players on the court. They're the only players who haven't scored so far today. We have Davari for Iran and Arao, who picked up the personal foul just then. He's the only Japanese player who hasn't scored.
And for Iran, just 2 players in double figures, which shows you the kind of depth that this team has. You have a 34-point lead, only Hassanzadeh in double figures with 13, and Sahakian with 15. Haddadi's not even in double figures, neither Kamrani.
Well, Iran have 9 players with 5 points or more. Yeah, how's that for sharing the ball?
Nice depth and the balance that Coach Dirk Barman has introduced.
Strong drive, good defense from Bahrami though. Here's Furukawa, he goes a little closer. He hasn't made it from long range. Can't make it from in close on that occasion. And again, Iran quickly into transition. Here's Hassanzadeh, nice patience. And again they retreat, they go to the ball screen. They know what works for them. And then they create a wide open 3-pointer. which on most other days Bahrami would nail. But on this day, it's an offensive rebound for Iran. Nice feed inside to Kadoost.
And he gets the offensive rebound.
That was a man-sized move. He took the contact, he missed it, but he went straight back up and he got the board. And he gets rewarded with 2 free throws.
Kadoost, 2 points in this game. What size he brings close to the basket.
You know, when I watch the way that Dirk Bauerman's team has gone about this game, the one thing I think back to is Iran in 2011 when they blew teams away by 90 points, by 80 points. But then they got into a half-court grind in the quarterfinal against Jordan. And they didn't know how to play in that style and they got beaten. Yeah, there's no danger of that with Bauerman, is it? They've stuck to the grind for 40 minutes.
That's right. It's a very disciplined approach that Iran is showing. And that lack of mental focus was, well, that's what happened when they played against Jordan in knockout quarterfinals in 2011. Also happened in the Asian Games last year when they were upset by South Korea in the final. But I don't know whether that's going to happen in this competition. They look very, very well schooled and prepared.
If the man in charge has anything to do with it, that will not be happening. As we're down into the final 60 seconds.
Almost like a 3-2 zone defense being played here by Iran.
Kurakawa, he can't buy a basket today. He's made some nice moves. 43 seconds to play. Iran lead by 36 points. There's no upset of historical proportions in this game. There's no Palestine beating the Philippines. It has been Iran making a statement about where they sit heading into this 2-week tournament.
I thought their defense was exceptional in this game, and it showed starting the second quarter. And it also didn't help that Japan couldn't hit their 3-point shots in the early going. Finally got some things going here in the fourth period, but certainly too late for Japan to cause any sort of uprising.
Well, if you look at that earlier game, the Philippines led by 16. They took their foot off the pedal, and that's what gave Palestine a chance. Iran at no stage did they take their foot off the pedal. Maybe Dirk Bauerman, he might have been quite happy to see that result before this game, just so he could give his players that reminder of what happens if you're not switched on in this tournament.
I think the bench has responded positively to the challenge, and Iran doing an exceptional job here in dismantling Japan.
Oh, nice pass from Hirose. He finds Arrow underneath the basket, and now every Japanese player has scored. It's one of the few occasions a Japanese player has got space in the keyway. He read it beautifully and made a superb feed.
That extra pass coming in. Here's a foul by Japan. Iran will be taking free throws once more.
Just 23 seconds left to play. It's 84-48 to Iran. And Davari, the one player on both teams.
That's right, who hasn't scored.
Who hasn't scored, and here he is at the free throw line.
Now everyone has scored in this game. Iran and Japan together.
It hasn't been the highest scoring game in FIBA Asia Championship history, but both teams sharing the ball around. He doubles, he scored at 2. Last possession of the game perhaps for Japan. Furakawa, he wants to get one down. He's in a similar predicament to Nikau Bahrami. He just wants to see one go through the net. Ono on the drive.
Oh, there's a turnover. So again, relentless. The defensive pressure that Iran has shown in this game down to the last possession, and you have to be impressed.
The crowd is impressed. As the buzzer goes, they give a round of applause to Iran for their 86-48 victory on day 1 of the FIBA Asia Championship. Good spirit between both teams here as they congratulate each other on their efforts, but Japan perhaps with a lot of review to do after this game.
Oh, without a doubt. I thought they had their positive moments, especially when they were pressing. They were using Yuta Tabusa to provide some pace, some speed and mobility to their game. But I thought overall, the control of the game by Iran was just outstanding. drawing from their defense and flowing into their offense. You take a look at some game statistics right here. What a difference in rebounding, 45 to 29. And then the turnovers, Japan forced into 19 turnovers, 13 to 3 advantage in steals by Iran. The anticipation of the passing lanes, very evident. Sahakyan with 15 points, Takeuchi with 10 points to lead the charge for Japan. And those are the top scorers. Only one player in double figures for Japan and 2 for Iran. Take a look at the rebounding leaders. Takeuchi with a double-double in this game.
All but one Iran players who were on the court grabbed a rebound. You know, that was the team approach they had. And if you're an Iranian supporter, I think you're going to enjoy watching these highlights.
Oh, I think so too, yeah. And you see Nika Barami and Ehadadi, what a block shot from him. And we were talking about how Ehadadi has become a role player on this team. I mean, he's a superstar. Anytime he wants to score, I think he's certainly capable of doing it, as he showed in that particular play with a two-handed slam dunk.
He's still got a Kunito.
I think so.
It'll be interesting to see as the tournament wears on, how much does he continue to be a facilitator?
You know, I also think it depends on the opposition. And in this particular game, he wanted to share the basketball a lot more than usual. I think Coach Dirk Barman wanted to impress on the players that they're working using a system. And he wants to make sure that every player buys into that system.
How about that pass? Was that the play of the game?
I would think so, yes. That also was a score for Barami. One of the rare occasions we had an open shot.
They only have Haddadi down for 2 assists, but I don't think that does justice to his passing.
No. And what Haddadi does on the floor, because of his ability to pass the ball, is that he draws the defense towards him and opens up a lot of opportunities for his teammates, because he invites or demands the defense to go focused on him. And brilliant efforts on the part of the role players of Iran.
There's Nikao Bahrami finally getting a 3-point bomb to go. He'll sleep a whole lot better having seen that one fall through the net.
What about the bench points of Iran? Paul, looking over the stats, 46 points coming off the bench as against only 15 for Japan. And we've been talking about balanced offense. There it goes. That's the evidence right there.
It was Iran 86, Japan 48. Thanks for joining us in Changsha.